Dungeons is a fun game in hypixel skyblock, but to play it, you have to have the right gear. So today, I will tell you the right gear that you need from floors 1 to 4. So to start off, for floor 1, all non-mage classes should get a full strong dragon armor set costing about 5.6 mil. But if you can't afford that, then you can consider getting unstable dragon armor costing about only 3 million. But if you still can't afford that, then non-mages can use ender armor. But if you do that, be careful because you will struggle though. For your weapon, you should consider getting an aspect of the dragons for all non-mage classes, or you could try and use aspect of the end, which is a bit cheaper. For mages, your only armor option that is affordable is a full set of wise dragon armor, and your most affordable weapon is a frozen scythe. You should be doing floor 1 on a minimum of 100 magical power, but 150 magical power or more would of course be better. So now onto the boss fight. So the boss fight is Bonzo, and the most advice I could give you is just target him. But be careful of all the undead people and Bonzo's second stage. For floor 2, it is the same armor as before in floor 1. The only major change is that for mages, you can actually start using a Bonzo staff since you have the floor 1 completion. But you can still do floor 2 with a frozen scythe, so don't really worry if it's like too much money. And for archer, you should have the same gear and the same with berserker. And for pets, mages should still be using the epic sheep pet, and for berserker, you should still be using a griffin common pet or a rare enderman pet. You can switch to a rare tiger pet if you really want, but it might be a bit expensive. And on to magical power, I recommend aiming for 200, but 100 magical power should be fine. For the boss fight, you will be facing Scarf. He has 4 minions, each resembling all 4 classes, which are Mage, Berserker, Healer, and Archer. The only thing you really need to know is that to target the Priest minion, or the Healer, as he can heal all the other minions back to full HP. Scarf has 2 stages. The first is you have to defeat the minions. The second stage is where you have to defeat the minions and Scarf at the same time. Next we have floor 3, which you should unlock from just a few rounds or runs of floor 2s. So mages should be using basically the same set, but should have switched to a Bonzo staff by now. But once you have a floor 3 completion, berserkers, archers, and other classes, even mage, can switch to adaptive armor. If you do have adaptive armor, if you can't afford it, berserkers can consider getting a golden professor head as a helmet. And mages should be getting shadow goggles if they do have adaptive armor. Also, if you can, for berserkers, dungeonizing and starring your aspect of the dragons is strongly recommended. And the same thing for archers with a dragon shortbow. And also the same if you have a Bonzo staff if you're a mage. For this floor, mages should also be turning your epic sheep pet into a legendary sheep pet. You can do that by giving your pet to cat, or you could just buy another sheep. And I forgot to say this earlier, but that by now all berserkers should be using the AOTD, but with a dragon fuse glove. And now also the adaptive belt as equipment, and mages should have an explosion belt. For this floor, you should at minimum try to get 175 magical power, but ideally you should aim for 200 to 250 magical power. And also, now to get a good score in the dungeon run, you have to have speed. So at the start of the dungeon run, you should put a dungeon potion from Ophelia in the dungeon hub. The boss fight is the professor, and he has 4 guardians. The thing is that you have 10 seconds to kill all the guardians, or else they will respawn at 50% health. The first you should target is the Chaos Guardian, as he is the most dangerous, having a 10-second recharge until he does an attack that can instantly kill you if you are close to him. And in that case, I consider going really far away from him if he does this attack. The next person you should go and target is the Heal Guardian, as he can heal the Guardians. And as I mean, it's in the name. And the rest, well, that isn't really important to tell you everything that they do, but just kill them. Now on to floor 4. This is where things get a bit expensive. There are cheaper options than what I'm going to tell you, but I strongly recommend to get the things I'll say, as this will help you financially later on to not waste money and already be prepared for future hard floors. So for Berserkers, you should have a Dungeonized and 5-starred AOTD, and Archers should now switch to a Spirit Shortbow, costing about 4 million, and Mages should now switch to a Spirit Scepter, costing 19 million for a good one. Now for armor, Mage should have a 3/4 Dungeonized Wise Dragon armor and Shadow Goggles as a helmet. Berserkers should get 4 Dungeonized and starred Superior Dragon armor, costing a big chunk of 40 million coins. But trust me, it will be worth it. And pets are exactly the same with mages, using a legendary sheep pet. And Berserkers should now have a rare tiger pet. Or if you can get it to epic, I would definitely. And for equipment, you can also have a bone necklace now. And if you're using an AOTD, then of course the Dragon Fuse glove. For this floor, I recommend going for 250 to 300 magical power. Now for the boss fight, you'll be facing Thorn. The battlefield will be full of animals, but there's actually a cheat code for classes with long range weapons. And it goes like this. So there is a specific area or build, and it is in the tall green blocks, which I think resembles a plant. And they are at the very edge of the arena. And if you stand on it and have a long range weapon, all the animals will come to you, but you won't take any damage, as they won't be able to reach you, allowing you to spam your weapon and eliminating chunks of angry animals. But the chickens will be able to reach you, so beware of them. And if you don't have a long range weapon, then just stand in the middle of the arena, I don't know, pop a dungeon potion, do all your heals and other things, and just fight off the vicious animals. Now you will see an animal called the Spirit Bear. Target him, as it will drop a spirit bow, and with that you can shoot Thorn, the flying ghast, and take a bit of damage off him. And you'll have to repeat the process 4 times, and every single time it will be harder and harder to hit Thorn with your spirit bow and arrow. Now I'm going to explain what you need for floor 5, a very popular floor. Berserkers should be using the same armor, which is Dungeonized and starred full Superior Dragon armor. And mages should be using the same, which is 3/4 Dungeonized and starred Wise Dragon armor and Shadow Goggles. For weapons, archers should be using a Spirit Shortbow, mages should have a Spirit Scepter. And now, because you should start thinking about the mage ability with the left click, which is affected by intelligence and strength and other things. So in that case, you should also be switching between your Spirit Scepter and a good Berserker weapon, like a Shadow Fury. And Berserkers should consider getting a fragged Shadow Fury, but it is able to do floor 5 with a dungeonized and starred aspect of the dragons. For equipment, you should have a Gauntlet of Contagion, and you should have a Shadow Assassin Cloak as well, a bow necklace and a Implosion belt, and all of that applies to every single class. You should be doing floor 5 with a minimum of 300 magical power, but you should be doing it on 350 magical power, as it is better. Now for the boss fight, you'll be facing Livid. At the start of the fight, Livid will spawn loads of clones, and one clone or person is the correct Livid. The clones have different colours so that you can see a slight difference, but Livid will also be in a different colour, so it won't matter to find the correct Livid. You could do it the normal way and look up at the ceiling's colour, which is the colour of the correct Livid, or if you use the Lunar Client Launcher, you can go into the Lunar Client menu, then click hypixel skyblock. There is an option that says correct Livid solver. If you enable it, the correct Livid will be highlighted, and then eliminate the correct Livid and the boss fight is over. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more videos like this.